Zoom. Studio.
There you are,
Unknown
studio.
function called a
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. Bye bye.
Oh my God.
It's who we love and who we serve.
Yeah.
How dare you?
This is with such righteous indignation.
Right, right.
Oh my God.
Now Trish wants me to manage my broadcast on my phone, but I don't want to do that.
Is it running now? Yeah. Hi, everybody. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown. I tell you, this business is on. My man is on. Check him out. This is the Godfather Soul James Brown saying stay with it and hit it. Okay, thank you.
All right.
That's what you call wisdom from beyond the grave. Stay with it and hit it, folks.
Yes. I love that, man. You know, I wonder, like in the world beyond, do they even care how they're? You think about it, like this is crazy. Now you got me thinking, like the movies that we have now on digital film, where now you don't have to remember a play. It's like back 2,000, 1,000 years or so. You have to go to a play, see it once, and then maybe you might see it again. And now we have a way of capturing that. Man, that must have been a mind blower. Who came up with that? Oh, I could look up who. Okay, let me Google who came up with the idea of movies. Let's see. Okay, let's see who did that. Come on. Hold on. Okay, so there's no really creative, because it was just they built upon first a silent movie, then they built upon that to make talking movies. So
it's actually pretty.
1901.
Yeah, it's actually pretty fascinating. You know, with the ticker tape stuff and the what do you call that? They had different slides and things like that they would put onto paper, and then they decided that film would be better. And in 1901, you had your silent movies, as you were talking about there, and the first real movies were actually called talkies. And those were silent movies that they had put words to initially, and then they started producing these things called movies, which were moving pictures along with the spoken word. Quite fascinating. Quite fascinating.
Yes, very, very, very. And now people are going to be here
to move to an I left parent
exactly
meeting control. Jaws home Zoom. SPL encoder Tuesday 17%
okay, here.
on it.
Okay.
Tuesday 7 no. How do we get accountability in government?
Wait. Now I'm saving the accountability topic for a little bit later.
Is there a reason? Topic 2.
Oh, okay. We're going to start with topic 2.
Is there a reason for the season if you cannot afford to buy presents or because of FJB economy? Stores do not have what you want, or it is still sitting on ships in California. Topic 3.
Okay, so you got that. So the reason for the season is it when you find out that you can't afford the presents that you want to buy, or that the presents that you want to buy are still on the dock of the bay in a ship in California, Long Beach to be more specific.
Well, and that's an interesting question, because I'm sitting here with $12 in my bank account. Now, I don't use credit cards or things like that. Otherwise, I could get myself into lots of trouble. I just borrow the money I'll pay it back later. Well, later never
Yeah.
comes. At least
Yeah, I
for
know.
those on a fixed income, I'm always broke. So I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Got $12 in my account, and it wouldn't matter because if I had 12,000 in my account, there are many of the items that are on the store shelves normally around about this time, which are indeed sitting docked in ports and awaiting transport
Yeah.
to the stores themselves.
Hmm. Hmm. And somehow, in the back of my mind, it just keeps hitting me. Maybe these guys do this stuff. I mean, we were like, it was humming along. Everything was just fantastic. But they didn't have the toys that I'm talking about, the politicians on the left, and maybe even on the right as well, didn't have the toys that they wanted, the social programs that they wanted. So, so it didn't matter if a majority of people were happy because they were working and stuff like that. They said, well, we need our toys. So we only bring in, I think they said $4 trillion, but our deficit, or what was that? Our
Budget.
budget is $28 trillion.
Oh yeah, that's our deficit.
Our deficit is $28 trillion. So I think maybe, I'm just guessing here. I can't read anybody's mind. I'm guessing they looked at that and said, well, hell, we're trillions of dollars over anyway. So what's another few trillion?
And that's something that I got to wonder myself. I think people are actually banking on the fact that the space industry is going to explode over the next 5 or 10 years. So there will be ample resources to mine from asteroids and other places and things like that we can get to in the quote foreseeable future. So for instance, it might take 7 years to travel from here to Mars. Well, that's no big deal. Just send a rocket up there 7 years later, get a mining base set up and start getting some precious rare minerals from other planets and things like that, and then shoot them back down to Earth. Well, another 7 years. People are playing
like back in the days, they had the 7-year famine. So we had to just, so I can see that. Okay.
So it's definitely a possibility, but the reason for the season never really does change. And that reason being for at least the Christian, that's the birth of Jesus Christ. It really doesn't matter that he was or was not born on December 25th. This is just the annual celebration that we hold for our King. And those that don't believe in the Lord Jesus Christ as our Savior and that kind of thing, why, this is just another holiday for them.
Yeah.
And,
and I totally give a thumbs down to Kwanzaa, because I found out more about the guy who started it, who was a rat, and the only reason he became a professor is because he ratted out a bunch of other people and put them in jail for many years, and so when he got out, they said, well, okay, what can we do for you? Say, hey, I need a good paying job. So he was put in that slot, and then he came up with this crazy idea for Kwanzaa. So thumbs down for Kwanzaa, and that's me saying, okay. Go ahead.
Yes, I certainly can't speak to that because I don't have the ethnic background to do so.
It's a silly idea. It's a silly, and thumbs up to Hanukkah and Christmas. Double thumbs up. Okay.
There you go, folks.
Oh man. And then also, speaking about this $1 trillion in that we seem to be in debt over. Oh no, intellectual property, which the Chinese and the Russians are stealing from us. So they may already have. I heard they had a part of the technology that we were working on, but we just slowed down. But China went ahead forward. Also, Russia went ahead forward, and the intellectual ideas of property, they may beat us that 7-year trip before we even get there, and they're coming back, and we're just now getting to it. If Elon Musk doesn't, jump ahead. Oh, and he's gonna. Oh, did you hear what he's developing? This is not in our notes, but he's developing a cell phone that can charge itself with the atmosphere. He also, with the space travel, he's developing where it can harness the I'm not sure what is not the fuel, the air to recycle to generate fuel for the spaceship. All right?
So you're talking about, is he developing something?
No, he is.
use-
He is.
Wow. So
Yeah.
he's developing some sort of thing to recycle the atmosphere, the spent atmosphere, I should say,
Yeah.
and use that for fuel. Is that
Right.
Wow.
So he's kicking butt, and then if he comes up with the cell phone that can just recharge itself, you're standing out in the sun or whatever, and it's just going to recharge itself. Now that's a game changer right there.
Yeah, I tell you, there's a reason why he became Man of the Year.
Yeah, I heard about that. He'll become Man of the Year Part 2. It's like, I mean, that's some stuff there, and you often wonder, like, okay, we make these leaps, like we talked about the film in 1901, and how that developed into what we have now. I mean, it went from the black and white movies to the the Technicolor movies and all that kind of stuff. Then, I mean, there was somebody that had that idea. Then the cars. I mean, even back in the 60s, I don't know if you rode in any cars that were made in the 60s. And
Oh, sure.
they felt like the metal was so heavy and so, how would I just say? It was just like being inside of a tin can,
Yeah,
and
they
it
used
was
to call the older cars lead sleds because they were so heavy.
right. And so then they develop a metal that would be lighter. Of course, that's not so good for if you crash it,
Right.
But but the progression, and now we got into the realm of, it used to be that you could work on cars, but now it's all these chips. Now, I know I'm going a little bit off. I sent out the topic, but sometimes we get on the show and we start thinking about other things that expand our minds. so yeah. So I'm just thinking, like, with evolution and these ideals dropping into the brains of people that have time to think about it and have the resources to apply it, that virtual reality may be closer than what we think it is.
Well, imagine a serum that, let's just pretend here, and let's just go way out on a limb since we're on this subject anyway. Imagine a serum that would make you not only human, but make you superhuman. I mean that in a way of tiny little robots called nanites that would run around your bloodstream and run around your body and rewire everything and freak everything all out and start installing what would be called neural links. So basically, you would be linked via your brain directly to the artificial intelligences. Now, I'm not saying that the vacation package is any of this, but it is awful funny that we're being very encouraged to get the vacation package, if you guys know what I mean.
Yeah.
Now, I got my tinfoil hat screwed on a little tight. I know it's cracked my brain pan maybe a little, but I really honestly believe that if this is not the situation where, the little nanites are running around your body, well, there'll come a time where this technology is just readily available and it's out there. I encourage people to look up what are called dark projects. I encourage people to look up something called CRISPR babies, CRISPR. So that's CRISPR without the E. Very, very fascinating stuff there. And we are living in a science fiction novel or a science fiction movie right now. I will tell you that right now. We are seeing, whoa, this is the greatest time in history to be alive. I love this.
Oh, definitely. Now let's see. I want to see which one do I want to go there.
Why is what happened on Jan 6 an act of terrorists, but what happened in blue states ran by Democrats?
This might be a rhetorical one.
Summer of love or a mostly peaceful demonstration? Why is what happened?
Because I was listening to Fox News, and once again, they're saying that what happened on January 6th was so terrible, but nobody is, and sometimes I think Fox has some fake news, but nothing happened in the with the
Summer of Love.
The Summer of Love and
20.
yeah, and all that kind of crazy stuff. That's not considered to be an act of terrorism. And sometimes it's kind of rhetorical, and then kind of like where you say, look over here, but we're doing something over there.
Well, just today, the press secretary for the White House, Jen Psaki, addressed some of this and basically talked about how Sean Hannity and or Laura Ingraham had said some certain things that she basically was surprised by, but on the other hand, it's to be expected and things like this. It is the
PM.
fracturing and division of our country right before our eyes. I mean, I looked at some of the comments on the thread when I was looking at Facebook there, and it definitely addressed some of this stuff, and definitely not in the way that I would have looked at it. I mean, from an impartial standpoint, not right or left, leaning or whatever, to just look at it from a detached
6:17
standpoint.
PM.
We have to realize that a divided house cannot stand. We must unite. We have no choice but to unite if we wish to survive as American people, or as a human race for that matter, because this has now become a world game.
Definitely. Now let's go to our main topic.
Stores do not. Is there a reason? Topic 2. Also, why within topic 1?
Okay, topic 1.
Why within the blind community is there a 70% unemployment rate? Also, why are there only 10% that can read Braille?
Okay. Let's do the 70%, because I think about that, because I was watching this, and the reason that I started thinking about this, I was looking at this program about Kenya yesterday. This lady, she's a Black lady, she went to Kenya, and she was talking about the poor conditions, and that the toilet is like running through the neighborhood, right? And some of the people, they live in these little tin houses that have toilets inside, but it's still going out to the river, and then this river, then they have this hot let's see, where they grow flowers, greenhouse, that the chemicals from the greenhouse go into the river, and the people bathe and drink that water, and then they buy water, and it's not any insurance. You can buy water, but it's not any insurance that water is even what they say it is, right?
Wow.
And I was looking at, okay, here's a condition where, okay, you probably helped build those houses on the other side where you want to be close to the city, where you can go down and get a job in the city, and you can then send money home to your family. But at what point do you think, okay, these people they can see, they can look around, they can see, okay, this is how this is made, and if we apply ourselves the same way, we can work for ourselves for free and build structures just like that, if we just open our mind. But then I'm thinking, like, well, maybe because of like how sick the water is and all that kind of stuff, and just you're working on survival, you don't have time to think about like rebuilding structures like that, and then you just lazily say, oh, okay, I'm just going to work for those people and that. So I thought about like the blind people. Okay, we can't see, look around, and that's a blessing in a way, because you could watch TV, right? Or people who watch TV, they see stuff and they say, "I want that."
Right. Okay.
or like sometimes we watch these TV shows and they're always talking about food, and they show the sizzling food, and it makes you hungry and all that. But as blind, we hear it, and it I don't think it affects us as much.
Yeah, I can definitely agree with you there. So therefore, because we can't see certain things, what does that do? Well, because we're human computers, and we have a certain terminology which holds true for computers as much as it does for us. Garbage in, garbage out. If you put garbage in your body or in your mind, you're going to get garbage out. You put good stuff in your body or your mind, you're going to get good stuff coming out. Not only is it a spiritual law, but it's also a physical law. It holds true within, like I say, computers, for sure. It's a good analogy, but it holds doubly true for us biological creatures who happen to be God's computing engines.
Now, so I'm thinking like, okay, as a sighted person, you can look at stuff on TV and you say, well, I don't have that, but I want that. And then if somebody's not around you saying, okay, we're going to educate you so you can be able to see how to get that, then you might, in ghettos and stuff like that, you might go out and, just do criminal stuff. Somebody who's going to guide you the wrong way, but say, hey, sell these drugs, or in the Kenya case, is just live close to the city so you can work in the city. And even though the conditions are bad, you're close enough to make real money, and that someone told you that this money is real, but it's really just a illusion of realness. So then, just switching back to blind, because I'm kind of relate both of these worlds: the sighted world, poor, unemployment, and then the blind world, unemployment. And even in America, the poorest of the poorest here in America is not that bad.
Right.
Well, at least,
Right.
well, unless you live in like a war zone, then you can say, if your 9-year-old is always thinking about like how he's not going to get shot, that can be a little bit uneasy. But if you live in a situation like where we are, there's not gunshots going on all the time like it was. I don't know if you saw this video of this mayor in Detroit, and the gunshots, boom, boom, boom. She didn't flinch because she says, "Oh, I'm just used to that."
Yeah, it's normal. It's normal.
Yeah. And I said, I don't know if I don't want to be in a neighborhood where I get used to gunshots. I don't want to live in that neighborhood. But say like above that neighborhood, you live like in our building, people get boxes for Thanksgiving, like turkey, canned foods, and box food, whatever. And that doesn't happen in too many really poor countries where they get boxes of food and stuff like that. And they get food, they grow it and stuff and sell it. But in the blind world, we live in the four walls, and we're not looking to get more like beautiful paintings. We work in a business where we might wear suits and stuff like that, but I don't think we see things as we got to get the most beautiful suit, the most beautiful dress, because that's relative. How does it feel on you? That beautiful suit, that beautiful dress is more important than how does it look.
I remember in my early 20s, I was going through an adjustment to blindness program. And in 1989, the GQ look, or the short-haired look, was in, as it still is to some degree. And I had a long hair like I do now, and a beard and a leather jacket. And this class was dealing with dressing for success. If you're a blind person, you need to look your best, because obviously you're already going to get overlooked in some way when you're out there looking for a job anyway. So you have to look good. And so the premise was, boy, if you put on these nice clothes, you're going to feel better. You're going to feel differently. So I remember putting on a suit and a tie, and I went on in, and they says, "Now, how do you feel?" I said, "I feel restricted in my neck because I got this tie on. But other than that, I'm okay. I mean, it doesn't matter to me. I mean, a leather jacket and a holy pair of jeans, or a nice dress outfit, it doesn't matter one way or the other to me. I don't feel any different." And that wasn't the right. They wanted me to say, "Well,
Yeah.
you got to feel better, and you got to feel better about yourself." And I said, "Well, I feel fine in my holy jeans and my leather jacket, man, my engineer boots. They says, oh, that's the type of people that you identify with. That's not how you feel. And I said, no, that's how I feel. I mean, I can sit here with my patent leather shoes on and my $900 suit, because, well, I happen to have a little bit of, with my family and stuff. My family had a little bit of money, but it wasn't gotten in the greatest of ways. I will say that. But the money was out there and the resources were out there to at least buy the quote nice things. I had a $4,000 guitar at one point. It didn't play any different than a $500 special, but boy, did it look nice.
Oh yeah, definitely.
6:26 p.m.
Hey, speaking of guitars, we've got brother D'Angelo T and his brand new hit single,
Exodus,
Broken Chains.
Yeah, from the album. Let me check. And we're trying to get that video 1,000 hits, because I put out a video. It was just a short video. It got 8,000 hits. And it was, and I'm thinking like, what? I said, this D'Angelo T song is. It was a good message about the guy saying, we should all love one another. But I said, D'Angelo T is just as good as that, but and 4 minutes longer. So we just re-released it. We did some things to work with the metadata and some other things like that, so we can track the song. So we're looking for some more subscribers. We're working to top that 1,000 mark, and the like. And I was just talking to my daughter. She's fighting with it. She said, "Why should I like this?" And I said, "Why not?" So on my mailing list, we got 500 people. So if they did it twice, and we're going to be sending out messages to them like next couple of days as well. And so if you can like this show and like D'Angelo, and then subscribe, we would greatly appreciate it.
And that's going to be found on YouTube. Is that right?
Yeah, on YouTube. Yeah, we got to build up that. And if you're on any of the other channels, if you wanted to boost our numbers on there as well, and then so thumbs up and subscribe and like and all that kind of stuff. Also, Alan, this is a show.
Also, topic is there. Go down. Topic 3. Why is WhatsApp Summer of Love? Is it because blank? Topic 4. How do we get accountability in government? In January of 2022, Alan C. and his podcast partner will let you know.
Yes, accountability.
So basically, what we're going to be doing is bringing on a show sponsored by Center for Government Accountability at Accountability Revolution, all one word. So that's Accountability Revolution, no spaces.com. And there we'll kind of go through the basics. We'll start with the basics of the United States Constitution. We'll go through each amendment, and we'll talk a little bit about this. It'll probably take about a month. So we'll start, what would you say, Johnny, the second week in January?
Yeah, second week. Because I wanted to come out either the second week in January or the third week in January. So I want to get a good lead up to it. And like I said, you have the options of you can, of course, give you the login for this, and you can go through Zoom and set it up that way, and it'll just be an extra depending on what time you want to do it. And then I'll give you some information on if you want to simulcast it with Innervision FM as well. Do
that. So once we work out the production details and things like that, we'll let all you folks know that are watching on innervisionfm.com or on YouTube or Facebook Live or any of the other channels we're streaming on as we put this thing together. We also want to hear from you folks at info@innervisionfm.com. That's the website. That's the email. And just toss a little bit in there in the subject line, if you would. Accountability Revolution notes or something like that, and then, maybe in the body of the email, just go ahead and toss hey, what do you think accountability looks like for our United States government? Because it is up to
Help.
we the people to get this done.
Yeah,
Search.
yeah,
Set.
definitely. Now,
Escape. Virtual PC cursor. Escape.
oh, and also I want to let people know, we have Amazon Smile, and I sent out a link with that as well. We have an event. I put it as an event on Innervision Records, where people, you can hit that link, go to and then pick out Innervision and shop. Then it's like how if you have a baby shower and then you put a list up at Kmart or whatever, Walmart, and you say, this is what we need. Well, we put together a similar list, and it's not what we need, but we just put up things that if you buy these certain things, like there's an entertainment set for your television, the mix surround sound. There's old, it's a record player, but it looks like one of those old record players, and it's really neat.
Oh, wow.
It's so, and then we picked out a bunch of like albums from the top 10 country, gospel, pop. Oh, we should go and get some from rock. We didn't, and then we picked out our albums from our. So when you click on that link,
link, save and print. Link recommended topics. Link share and Caritha.
Oh, I don't even know what that is, but anyway. But if you do that, because the link is out there, it's on innervisionrecords.org, Facebook, and we're trying to get it on our website as well. Our web guy, he's working another job overnight, and so pray for him that he gets his job at Channel 2 TV station, because he's really good at engineering and stuff like that. So.
Studio to move to an
So, hey,
left parent meeting controls.
Now you hear me going,
SPL in new folder. This PC team viewer.
where am I at?
Tuesday 70 post studio. McAfee left parent and right parent Innervision records the meeting controls. Jaws home at Zoom.
Oh, there we are.
Return to meeting button.
It took me that long to find Zoom. So anyway, so that's what's going on. So we want everybody to have a blessed day.
That's right.
And we'll,
menu bar system.
God willing, we'll be back this time tomorrow.
Menu A.
Definitely.
Alt Q menu bar system.
Now if I can
Q menu A. Alt
turn it off.
Leaving menus. Upper ribbon. Tab Tuesday 70% unemployment. Leaving menu.
This is always fun. So you guys can hear exactly what I'm doing.
Yep.
New folder. This PC. Team viewer. Word. Tuesday 7th studio. McAfee left parent and right parent Innervision records. Meeting controls. Menu. Meeting control Q and meeting or
There you go.
meeting.
There
God
you
bless.
go.